What to look for when buying a flip house? That's the question of the day today. So today I'm going to give you my opinion on what to buy, what not to buy, what kind of spreads you're looking for, what to expect from time frames and budgets, and a few things that you newbies might want to pay attention to. So let's start out with spreads. What kind of spread, what kind of margin are you looking for when you're looking to flip a house? The general rule is you got to have a good spread, a big spread, a really nice margin, because from the minute you become the owner of that house, whatever spread that you predicted will start moving backwards. It'll start shrinking. It's some kind of law. I don't know what kind of law it is, but I can guarantee you, you'll go into a house thinking you're going to make $50,000, and every day that goes by, you'll be making less and less and less. And then you'll end up making $28,000. That's part of the reason why you need big spreads, because there's a lot of things can happen, and most of them are not in your favor. So if you have big spreads, you might still go through the whole month or 2 months and end up with just $20,000. But if you didn't have a $50,000 spread going in, you'd end up losing money on that house. Some of us are better than others about staying on budget and stuff. Some of us are better than others about researching houses and doing the inspections. But no matter how good you are, that profit that you think you're going to make on day one will start going backwards. So what kind of house are you looking for? We know we need to have a pretty decent, sizable margin, but other than that, what physically does the house look like? Well, if you're out there, and especially if you're new, don't take on a big rehab. Please don't take on a big rehab. What you're looking for is a house that really just needs some cosmetic work. It just needs carpet shampooed, some paint, mow the yard, tidy some things up, fix a broken window, no big deal. I really strongly suggest that if you are a new real estate investor, that you do not get into a heavy-handed rehab. There's a saying in this business, you make your money when you buy. I added a little tagline to that saying, and that tagline will make that sentence sound like this. You make your money when you buy, and you're going to lose it in the rehab. The perfect house to rehab is really just a mess. Like I said, there's junk in the front yard, there's junk in the backyard. You know, you need an exterior coat of paint and an interior coat of paint. Maybe you need carpet, or maybe the carpet just needs to be shampooed. But you're not redoing major things like electrical systems, a foundation, completely redoing roofs with roof joists, and plumbing and electrical. These things can get out of hand fast. I'd like to ask the audience, and I wish I could see you, but how many of you veteran investors out there plan for a budget for a rehab and then go over budget? Raise your hand. Now, if I could see y'all, I'd say everyone with their hand up is telling the truth, and everyone that didn't raise their hand is a liar, because I don't know anybody who ever comes in on budget on these rehabs. And to come in on budget and under the timeline, almost unheard of. And it's like another unwritten law. I don't know why it is, but it's just that way. I think a lot of times when we set these time frames and we set these budgets, we're being very optimistic. Another reason why we go over is because we find things that we couldn't see with the naked eye. There are problems hidden inside and behind work that's already done. Last but not least, and this is what I'm really guilty of, I go into a house and I have the numbers, but then I think, man, granite would really look good in here. So I move from a regular countertop to a granite countertop. And I start upping the game of this house and upping the look of this house just because I want to see it look that good. When really the house didn't need anything. It didn't need granite countertops. It could have done fine, and I would have made more money if I had just left the regular granite tops. Still would have sold. Well, you have to ask yourself, when you start doing upgrades, how much extra can I charge for this house if I do this much more of an upgrade? If it's $1 for dollar, it's not worth doing. If you spend $1 and you can only upgrade it, the sale price of the house, a fraction, it's not worth doing. In general, if I'm going to add an upgrade to a house, I would like to charge twice whatever it cost me. If granite countertops cost me $5,000 for a particular kitchen, then I better be able to up the price of my house 10 grand, or it's not worth doing. The biggest mistake that newbies make is they're so anxious to make a deal that they just make any deal. They jump at the first opportunity, and therefore they make bad deals. If you're new and you're looking for a deal and you're struggling and you haven't been able to find the right deal, please just stay exactly where you're at. Keep looking for the right deal. It will come along. Keep applying yourself. Up your efforts. Put in more time. Look harder, but do not buy a house just to buy a house so you can say, I bought a house today. It doesn't do any good to buy a house if you're not going to make money on it. We don't need practice. We don't need exercise. We need to make a profit off of these houses, or we will be out of business in short order. The most important thing we all need to work on, newbies and veteran investors alike, is the ability to leverage human capital. How do we get people to do all the things we need to do in concert? If you're out there swinging a hammer or painting, you are effectively working for whatever wage you would have had to pay a painter or a carpenter. When you're the CEO of a company, you're leveraging human capital. You have the guy doing the carpentry at the same time the person is doing the landscaping, at the same time someone's on the roof repairing the roof, at the same time someone's ripping out all the flooring so they can get ready for the new carpet next week. You cannot do that as one person. Your job in leveraging human capital is to get as many people working on this house at one time as you can, as long as they're not in the way of each other or things are not getting out of order. So the one thing we all struggle to work on is how to effectively use and leverage human capital so that we can get more done faster and still keep the quality. So let me break this down for the new person in the room. If you're out there mowing the yard, you're making a big mistake. You don't need to be out there mowing the yard. You need to be back in your office trying to figure out how you're going to get the yard mowed, the exterior house painted, the interior house of the painted, the roof being done, all the trash being hauled off in the backyard, all at the same time. That's what you're trying to do. You can do one thing at a time yourself, or you can orchestrate everything happening now. Because why? Because the sooner you get this job done, the sooner you can sell the house, the sooner you can make a profit. What did I say at the beginning of this episode? From the minute you own that house, your profit starts moving backwards. It starts shrinking. It's an unwritten law. Okay? So the faster you get it finished, the less time your profit will have to shrink. You want to make some big money? Don't mow the lawn. Figure out how fast you can get everyone out there to perform their job in concert and get this job done and sold. How fast can you do it? That's where the money is. You think you're saving money mowing the lawn? It's a joke. You know, I've had a group coaching call every week for over 6 years. And on one night of every week, the same night, Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, I get on the phone and I talk to people all over the country, and we compare notes, we solve each other's problems, we have discussions about anything and everything under the sun investor related. And if you'd like to hear what one of those calls sounds like, please go to 1000houses.com, scroll through that first page there, and find a freebie called Recorded Q&A Call. You can download it digitally, you can start listening to it right now, and you'll see how those calls go. I have helped hundreds of people find their way to financial freedom. That's what my educational business is all about. You can hire Mitch Stephen, or you can hire someone else, or you can use my strategy, or you can use someone else's strategy. I don't care which strategy you use or how you do it. Just let me introduce you to some ideas so that you can figure out where you belong and that you can become financially free. Dave Ramsey likes to do the primal scream when people get debt free. At my house, in my office, we ring the bell when people call up and say, hey, I just fired my boss this morning. I want to have a little glass of champagne or celebration with you. That's when we ring the bell. So take a listen to that hour and 45 minute call and see how it goes. Believe me, there's no way in the world, if you're a mover and a shaker and you have some work ethic and you have some drive, that you cannot make more than the cost of this call if you're listening. There's no way. So it's kind of like all education. The best education, you lay the money out, and then you figure out what they're trying to teach you, and then you go back and you get not only that money back, but you get more back. And that's what it's all about. Check out that call. I think you'll be impressed.